All right, so just kicking it off today, everyone. My name is Sam Gervas with Profile by Sanford. We are a health coaching organization that has recently expanded into Central Texas, and we have recently partnered with the YMCA to be an additional wellness perk for the employees as well as the community members. So thank you so much for joining us today. This will be recorded for those who are unable to make it. And at any point throughout the presentation, I will have we can have a time for questions and answers towards the end. But wanted to keep the conversation going, and we'll take it from there. So I will minimize my screen so you don't need to see me the whole time. All right. And guys, you are able to unmute yourselves, but I'm just going to mute everyone now for sound background. So really quick, so Profile by Sanford, just a two-second summary of us. We provide nutrition, activity, and lifestyle coaching to really help our members lose weight and keep it off. So Profile was developed by physicians and researchers to take the guesswork out of healthy lifestyle change. Really important, so we are backed by Sanford Health. Sanford Health is essentially the Seton of the Midwest. So a huge research hospital system across 9 states and over 300 clinics. And really cool, in 2010, we received a $1 billion philanthropic donation from a gentleman named Denny Sanford, and allowed us to launch this whole innovation arm really focused in on preventative care and chronic disease management. So kind of a fun fact, we're actually the largest rural provider in the country. So with that comes a unique set of problems. So how do we deliver great care to the individuals who might be, 100 miles from the closest hospital? So that's how Profile came about. So we're community-based, we're locally focused. We have 3 locations here in the Austin area, one in Northwest Austin, pretty close to the YMCA up on McNeil. We have another location in Cedar Park, as well as one in Round Rock. So what we do at Profile is, again, one-on-one health coaching, really focusing on that long-term behavior change. So we know change is really hard. So having that accountability partner and that connector to resources makes a huge difference. So, the great part about having that coach is that they can really meet you where you are, as well as the fact that there's an element of separation where, your accountability partner might not be it's not your spouse or potentially, a sister or someone that's really integrating into your life. It's someone that has a little bit of space that can still be that resource, while at the same time providing that direction that really helps you reach those goals. So I want to talk about our 3 main pillars. So the first one is nutrition. So based off an individual's medical history, as well as a health risk assessment, you'll be placed on a nutritional protocol that is designed specifically for you. So whether you are a type 2 diabetic, maybe you are on a specific thyroid medication, perhaps you're a nursing mother or a pregnant woman, essentially you'd be on a nutritional protocol that is designed to be simple, effective, and most importantly, sustainable for you. And again, that's masked off your goals. So whether you're looking for weight loss or whether you're looking more for body recomposition and gaining strength, ultimately Profile really helps you hone in on what's that motivation why you want to make a change, and what are the practical and small steps we can do to make you get there. So when it comes to nutrition, obviously it's a lot about education around your macronutrients. So, how does my body process carbohydrates? What's the difference between different types of healthy fats? What does portion control for protein really look like? But at the same time, it's all these supporting behaviors. So everything from meal prep to label reading to I'm going to Maggiano's or a restaurant in Cedar Park. What's something I can get on that menu that really fits my nutritional goals? So the great part about that is that you have the ability to talk about those things in your Monday coaching session of what's coming up that's really going to be challenging over this next week. The second pillar we really focus in on is activity. So whether an individual works out at the Y 5 times a week, or they're coming from a fully sedentary lifestyle, we really can meet you where you are. And the beauty of that is that you're not comparing yourself to someone else who is in a different place in their health and wellness journey, you can really focus in on those incremental and step goals to work towards that big picture of where you want to go. So whether it's resistance training or setting a walking plan to holding you accountable to attending group sessions at the YMCA, the profile health coach really can help you get there. And lastly is lifestyle. So especially when it comes to weight loss as well as any type of behavior change, we again know how hard that is. So our goal is to keep you motivated, to remind you of why you want to make a change. And then during those times when things get rough, we're there to support you. But at the same time, celebrate all those non-scale victories. So those are things that, again, your clothes are fitting better, you have more energy to be an active parent, whatever that might be, really having that support system to make that process just a little bit easier. And really, again, it comes down to the coaching, right? So the coaching throughout these 3 pillars, all of our coaches have 40 degrees in the space. So whether that's health promotion, exercise science, or dietetics, ultimately those folks are really handled to guide you in that process. It's about a 3-month onboarding certification process. So you can know that you're working with a coach that really can help you reach those goals. And again, that coaching session with our 3 locations, we prefer people come in for the coaching sessions, but we can always do virtual or telephonic as well. And the nice part about that is you're still talking to a health coach that is accessible and knows the Austin community and what are the resources, the restaurants, the different things that you can do to really work towards that healthier lifestyle. So next here we have Alex. So Alex is one of our members that joined us in 2016. Again, I just bring this up to show just the different metrics that really mark success, right? So obviously Alex had a ton of success from a weight loss perspective, but he's also off of 7 different medications and seen a drastic decrease in his A1C levels. So again, it's really about that lifestyle change. It's not a quick fix, it's not an overnight solution. You can't just take a pill, but when it comes to lifestyle change, it's a lot of hard work. But that said, if you approach it the right way and we try and take that incremental approach to behavior change, we can really help you get there. So I just like to bring this up. This is the profile promise. So when you're done with diets, we promise profile works. So ultimately, again, it's a commitment between our coaches and a commitment between you to work towards those health and wellness goals. That said, we know our program works. We have significant data with over 100,000 members to date that we know that if you follow the plan, meaning the combination of using your coach as a guide and enjoying your personalized nutrition plan, which again will be based off some of our profile foods, as well as a combination of healthy grocery foods, as well as the fact that you celebrate your success, we can guarantee that you'll lose 15% of your body weight over the next 12 months for those that are outside of a healthy BMI range. So those that are in a weight loss protocol. But that said, we have other protocols for folks that are looking more for other types of nutritional and lifestyle change support. This is really important when it comes to, again, profile is the phased approach to lifestyle change. So again, working one-on-one with a coach, we have 3 main phases for the program. So the first phase we call Reboot Reduce. It's again, that weight loss protocol. It's a high protein, lower carbohydrate nutrition plan. Really important there is that you're, again, focusing on different behaviors. So you're working on increasing your vegetable intake. You're focused on healthy fats. Focus on lean proteins, and how do I prepare and cook all these different foods? Some people are chefs, are great chefs in the kitchen. Other people, like myself, like to keep it pretty simple. But that said, you don't have to spend 5 hours on Sunday meal prepping to eat healthy. And that's really what that first phase is about, is how do we, again, be more mindful of our nutrition? How do we really focus in on, what are the habits that are going to help me succeed long term? And then lastly, how do I simplify and just focus on certain things at certain times? So that first phase for a lot of our members is that weight loss reduction. Then from there, we transition you to adapt. You're getting closer to your goals. We're going to reintroduce foods like starches. We're going to bring in dairy and other items that we've limited in that first phase of the program. And that said, it's again building healthy habits around what is a healthy and a good carbohydrate? What does that look like? How do I make sure I'm having the right portion control for that? And then also too, in that phase, it's really gearing up that activity. So, activity and exercise is a huge part of that long-term success. So how do we make sure that you guys have the support you need to really increase those activity levels, as well as, being realistic, right? Because all of you guys have different schedules and different needs throughout your day. Whether an individual is a nurse and she's on her feet with patients all day, as opposed to a more sedentary job from 9 to 5. The nutrition and how people engage with that looks very different under those two different types of occupations. So being mindful of that, and also working to increase those activity levels based off what your lifestyle looks like. And then lastly, sustain. So you've reached your goals. We want you to keep coaching with Profile, because we know that that change is really hard and life happens, right? There's going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be times during the holidays where you're really struggling, and there's going to be stress at work, and there's going to be times when you're traveling with your family and you want to enjoy those experiences, but that doesn't mean it has to have an all or nothing mentality. So it's really building that mindset and that framework of how do I continue to make healthy lifestyle choices even once I've reached my goals. So this just gives an example of kind of a day in the life of Profile. Like I said, we do utilize about 100 different Profile foods just to make that process of change easier. Personally, I've tried to do Whole30 a number of times, but I do it perfectly for 4 days. And ultimately, there's too much change at one time. I end up going to a happy hour for work, and I end up giving up on Whole30, right? So ultimately, the way that our nutrition plan is structured is that, we want to avoid that decision fatigue. So again, you're focusing on those behaviors that are going to lead to that long-term success and that sustained success. So this gives you an example of a day in the life of a Profile member. So, we do utilize about 100 different options of food. So everything from like high protein pasta to protein rich pizza crust to shakes to soups, chilies. Recently just rolled out new spaghetti noodles as well. So there's a lot of options, and we're still going to give you the foods you love, but at the same time, the healthier version and the versions that will help you, again, reach those goals for whether it's weight loss or recomposition of body mass, or also just be more mindful of your nutrition. So a few other things you can see here, just to give you an idea, is that really focusing on water intake throughout the day, a big part of metabolism and just consistent energy levels. And, obviously caffeine does have a small impact on metabolism. So limiting your caffeine intake, focusing on habits like 4 cups of vegetables per day at the minimum. Again, it's just a great way to incorporate those changes. And, some people do that easy. Some people really struggle with that. So knowing what you struggle with and what you really excel at is really great in terms of building that healthier lifestyle. So this just kind of illustrates what Profile is all about in terms of a cost perspective. So because we partnered with the YMCA for the employees as well as for some of the members, we do offer a $150 membership. So you'll be saving $150 right off the bat. So the reason we do that is we know how important support is in the workplace and within a community. So when you're working towards your health and wellness goals with the folks that, sit 2 cubes down from you, you're both more likely to succeed. So again, that's a huge part of our program, is building that social support. So because of the YMCA, if you were to normally walk up the street, it would cost $300 for an annual membership. So about $25 a month. So what that includes is that weekly one-on-one coaching. Like I said, that can be either in person or virtually. It includes that personalized nutrition plan. So again, based off that medical history and then a health risk assessment, keeping in mind that, because Sanford Health is one of the largest healthcare providers in the country, that personalized nutrition plan is specific to you and takes into account all of those different factors, as well as the fact it includes a discount on Profile foods. So because of the YMCA, you also save an additional 10% on Profile foods. So that we offer that for $150, so about $12.50 a month. Again, we are backed by a nation-leading nonprofit where our whole goal really is on building a healthier community. So just a few other things I'd like to point out here is that we do offer a genetic test. It's completely optional, but really helps our members understand how their body processes carbohydrates. So everyone's metabolism is a little bit different. So based on the information, it is actionable. We can actually rebalance those macronutrients to make sure that you're on a nutritional plan that is best for you. Also too, then we have the Journey Essentials Pack. So again, just the things you need to be successful. So we have a journey book that kind of provides different resources in terms of behavior change. We have a digital food scale, which helps people control portions, as well as a water bottle, a shaker bottle, and a few other little things just to set you off on the right foot. And then lastly, again, on the right-hand side there, you'll see that the cost per day for Profile Foods. So again, it really is a temporary reallocation from grocery foods. A lot of our members actually report saving money when they're following plan. So for example, my normal grocery bill is probably right around $110 when I was on Profile. Again, that first phase, Reboot Reduce, it ranges between $60 and $90 depending on that personalized nutrition plan. So I was on $90 of Profile Foods and about $30 of groceries. So my net spend was maybe $10 more. But that said, food is medicine. So we have members every day that get off their high blood pressure medications, that are getting off of metformin and other diabetic-related medications. So again, it's not just about the immediate cost, but what are the long-term costs of that fast food that you occasionally stop through? And again, life's all about balance. So if things happen, we're here to support you every step of the way. But again, helping you invest in your food, in your own health. So you'll see throughout the program, you work down towards to less and less Profile Foods as we slowly increase caloric intake, again through different, adding starches, adding dairy, as well as slowly increasing that caloric intake into a sustainable level. And then lastly, I think this is just really important to see from a perspective of the correlation from coaching and how that relates to outcomes. So that's where that Profile promise came from, that 15%. So you'll see here, individuals that reach 20 coaching sessions on average lost 15% of their body weight. And the reason I point that out is because it shows that, if you trust in your coach, if you trust in the program, and most importantly, you're ready to make a change, you have that internal motivation, and you're ready to make that change and really invest in your health, our program works. So just to kind of give you an example of a competitor to some extent. So United Healthcare has a program called Real Appeal. They've helped 480,000 individuals lose 2.1 million pounds. So they're about 4.1 pounds per person. On average, our program, we're right about 16.8 pounds per person. So again, you're seeing really strong outcomes, and you're seeing the success, not just on the scale, but really, again, how you feel, how you can be a role model for your kids, as well as just the fact that, putting yourself first, really prioritizing your own health and making that investment now. So with that, I would love to open it up for questions. So everyone should have the ability to unmute themselves. So I recommend that if you have any questions now, we can get those answered right away.
Hi, Sam, this is James. Nice presentation, thank you. I'm pretty impressed. Tell me about the food option and the pricing and the meals, and is that kind of like not to compare you, but a Weight Watchers meal plan or a Jenny Craig, or how do you pick it up? What do you do? Is it menus?
Yep, great question. So the vast majority of our food, James, is meant to be integrated back with those healthy grocery foods. So again, whether that's like a high protein soup, or we have like a healthy oatmeal, we have a healthy pasta sauce. A lot of those things are meant to be integrated back with that whole foods. Really important, you're never eating frozen entrees like a Jenny Craig. There's no supplements or vitamins or anything of that nature. You're getting all of those, that what we call the recommended daily allowance of those vitamins and minerals through your grocery foods and the Profile Foods. And then in terms of cost, like I said, it depends on that person's nutrition plan and where they are in their personal journey. So the most it would be during that initial phase is that weight loss reduction phase. So in that part of the program, you're spending, again, between $60 and $90 per week on profile foods. And in terms of like how that works is that when you come in for that coaching session, that's when you would pick up your profile foods. You get a chance to, again, you have that half-hour coaching session, which that's, your accountability partner. They're talking about all the challenges that happened this week, all the things that came up. And at the same time too, like it gets you in the door, right? It's another accountability tool to come to a location. So the whole point about profile is that we have 3 locations. Like I said, the first one in Northwest Austin, we're right next to the Container Store at 360 and 183. Our second location in Cedar Park is up on 1431 next to the Blue Corn Harvest, directly across from the Costco. And then we also have a location in Round Rock, which is basically right at I-35 and 45. That said, for those of you that live, further south, again, we always can do telephonic or virtual coaching. So a lot of we have members from Buda who will come in once or twice a month, and then they might they'll do a Skype or a telephone call the other once or twice a month. We also can ship foods as well. But again, the whole point is that you know your coach. So even if you're not meeting face to face every time, you have that relationship with them, and it's another way that they can really hold you accountable for what your goals are, and again, be that resource to support you kind of throughout that journey.
And so, Sam, I take it if you don't do the meal plan or the supplements with buying those on a weekly basis, there is probably a good diet in which to follow, that you can go buy your food at the grocery store and cook it yourself, and recommended portions for you and when and so forth and so on.
Yeah, so the way it works for us, right, is that, you are temporarily utilizing those profile foods. And again, it helps our coaches, like they can coach on the scope of like, they know that you're getting the macros you need. So there ultimately is some requirement for buying the foods, depending on the phase that you're in the program. But that said, again, it's a temporary tool for success. So depending on what your goals, so we have folks that, start in, if they're in a different protocol where they're more on perform, so it's more looking at body recomposition, they're on significantly less profile foods. But the reason, James, that we use that is that there's a lot of data that shows that, people need help, right, in terms of controlling those decisions. And when they, try to change everything at one time, it ultimately, they're setting themselves up for failure. So that's ultimately why we use the profile foods. And again, everything we do is developed by physicians and researchers that have really geared us to where we are today as a program.
What's the average with the coaches? What's the average you're finding out? How many sessions do people tend to do? Or what's the median? Yeah,
so great question. So again, we have members that will coach for the whole year, and they coach every week. We have folks that reach their goals, within a month, and they're coaching monthly. In terms of average, I'd say our average member typically it's about 10 to 15 per year. Again, we have a full variety of how long people coach. That said, just from a sustainability perspective, a really cool metric that we saw with our members is that folks that joined with us in 2015, about 82% of those maintained that weight loss for the next 24 months. So again, it's the fact that you're not having this yo-yo diet of these ups and downs. It's really a consistent change where you're building the behaviors to really succeed long term. And I will say too, all of our coaches have those different backgrounds. So we have members that will start with Corinne because they really want to focus on nutrition, and Corinne's a certified nutritionist. And then they'll work over with Nolan, who has he has his degree in exercise science, so it can really help with that, those exercise plans and, being a support and resource for that. And ultimately, people connect with different types of people. So you might connect really well with one coach, and your coworker might really connect well with another, and that's totally fine. That's why we have a team of, between 4 to 6 coaches per location, is you have that variety to see who you work best with and who can really help support you for that process.
Great, thanks, Sam.
And just one thing I actually have not mentioned, which is completely my fault. So anyone who is interested, we do offer a free consultation, right? So it's an hour-long session. You get to come in, you get to meet with a health coach, you get to really review that personalized nutrition plan and talk about like what's your why? You know, what's motivating you to make a change? How can we support you throughout that process? And is the time now? You know, I think ultimately we have that all the time where people come in and say, oh, this is great, but I'm just not ready. And then they come back a few months later, and that's how it works. You know, I think that's really the beauty of kind of how our program is set up, is that, you know, we're really focused on the individual and meeting them where they are. So it's really working to figure out what works best for you. And from a timing perspective, from a needs perspective, and then again, supporting you as a partner and not necessarily as an expert. So we're never going to say, hey, you have to do this, but really being that accountability partner, but supporting resource every step of the way.
Sam, this is Gary. I actually went, I think last Wednesday, and I actually met with Nolan up on Research Boulevard just to check it out and just to see. I set up my 1-hour consultation, and it went really well. I certainly saw the benefits, especially for those who were trying to get back to a healthy lifestyle. And I certainly see the benefits, as you know, for certain members within my family can certainly looked at. My wife heading up there hopefully tomorrow to go meet with Nolan as well, just to check it out and see where, you know, how it would benefit her. So we're certainly looking into it, and, you know, I appreciate what you guys are offering. And, you know, what I saw, there's certainly a lot of knowledge there and understanding of people's struggles. So just wanted to say, you know, thank you for the offer. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that shout. And like I said, yeah, I mean, it's about meeting people where they are, and everyone's journey is a little bit different. And I'm excited that you were able to see the location, because, you know, as you can attest, like, it's a very comfortable space. It's not meant to feel clinical. It's meant to be welcoming and inviting, where it's a place where people can be vulnerable and really share some of the struggles they're going through. I mean, I have members that cry all the time when I went out to coaching with them, and, you know, I'm there to support them. And it's really hard to make lifestyle changes. And, you know, we've had whole families, like you said, that have made changes together, because, you know, when you have that support system, it makes a huge difference. So again, I'll ask Kelly if she can share just a video that has just a summary of some of the successes we've had in Austin. We're lucky enough, we're chosen from all the locations across the country to pilot a little video. So I'll share that with you as well. And like I said, I'll make sure my contact information is in the follow-up too. So if you guys have any specific one-off questions, definitely let me know. And like I said, that free consultation is a great chance for you to see if it is for you. And again, there's no strings attached, and it's just a great chance to have a conversation and talk about, you know, what those health and wellness goals might be, and, you know, if Profile is the right way to help you get there. It's almost 10:30. Any last minute questions? Kelly, is there anything you wanted to share on your end before we wrap up here?
No, I think you've covered everything that I can remember. And if you send that video, I think I might actually have it. I can send it out to the group. But thank you so much for your time today, Sam.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. And again, I appreciate it. For those of you who did join, you know, and you have a coworker who wasn't able to make it, put in a good little word for us, and the recording will be sent around later today. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your day, and we will hopefully be meeting some of you soon.
Thanks, Sam. Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone.